Carrying a gun generally requires a little more substantial way to hold up the trousers, assuming that you're carrying it inside or outside the waistband. It does add a little bit of weight, and then when you add a spare magazine, a flashlight, a few other things, it adds a little bit more weight than is normal for everybody else walking around with a dress belt. So it takes a more substantial belt than your dress belt. We did a video earlier on the ratcheting belts from Core Essentials and Next Belt, and I like the adjustability of those as opposed to the traditional belt. This is a Galco with the 1-inch hole spacing, and I actually had to put a couple more in as I shrunk a little bit. I don't know when that happened, but it's gone back the other way. Put the first one in 3/4 of an inch, the next one in 1/2 inch, and it worked. But Rider's Range is always looking for something that's going to be just a little bit better. So thanks for tuning in, and let's see what we have to say about belts. For those who spent any time in the military, at least way back when, you know the adjustability of the old dress belt with an infinite adjustability and a good solid way of staying attached. The more pressure you pull on it, the tighter it actually gets. And nice simple design, and you know it works. Except this will never hold up a gun belt inside the waistband. I wouldn't even want to try that. So I was at the USCCA, United States Concealed Carry Association Expo a few months ago, and happened to stop by the CrossBreed display, and I saw the CrossBreed Crossover belt, and lo and behold, the buckle is the same basic style as the military, but much heavier duty. So I picked up a CrossBreed Crossover belt, and this works the same way as the military style. The more tension you put on it, the tighter it gets. Nice, substantial, solid belt. Love that heavy-duty buckle. And they do have several different buckle styles. We'll get to another one here in just a minute. But the belt is double layer leather. It is stitched all around the edges, nicely stitched. And I do like the way the end contours here. It makes it a little easier to thread through belt loops and just gives it a nice touch. And also, once it gets to the built-in loop, it goes down to single layer, which reduces the thickness of the belt, obviously, held in with a couple of Chicago screws, so you can take those apart and change the belt. Good, substantial, solid belt. I've been wearing this. In fact, you may have seen the video that we did on the VersaCarry holster, and had it matching into this belt. So I've carried this a lot, just doing projects around the house. I've carried it on the street some, but for a bit more dressy style on the street, I got the thin blue line version of the CrossBreed Crossover belt. Same double layer construction, same design all the way around, but this one is done black leather with blue stitching. Good, solid belt. Now, I will point out a couple of things about this particular design belt. And I've had it happen with both of these, where sometimes it will slip just a little bit. And for some reason, as I'm getting in and out of the car or something, as I tighten up my abdominal muscles, I get just a little bit of slippage out of this on occasion. Not regularly, but just on occasion. And this particular one time, locked in so tight that I couldn't loosen it, and actually had to find a way to try to shimmy out of the belt. Fortunately, I lost my hips a long time ago, as I don't know, they just shrunk. The rest of me, I'm sure, didn't grow. But I've only had that happen once. Other than that, I've never had any issues with these belts. Nice thing about this is if you need to loosen it, you can do it discreetly. If you need to tighten it, you can also do that discreetly without having to actually take the trouble to pulling out a flap and going into a hole 1 inch farther away. Now, some belt makers will do 3/4 of an inch. I had one done, I saw the video earlier with one of the chamber gear. I had George make that one up with 3/4 inch hole spacing. When I had Lobo make this one, I didn't ask him to do 3/4. I don't know if they would or not. And this belt will be part of a full review with a custom holster, mag pouch, flashlight pouch from Lobo Leather coming up. So just a short, quick look at two belts from CrossBreed, the Crossover belt, traditional, as well as the thin blue line, and makes a nice dress belt, This is a little more, well, it doesn't really scream gun belt necessarily, although some people know what they're looking for. They might see that. But good, infinitely adjustable, solid carry belts for everyday carry inside the waistband or outside the waistband. I definitely like them. And if you like these videos, we appreciate a thumbs up. Comments on the crossover or the CrossBreed Crossover Belts, drop them in the comment section below. Comments on anything else in general, anything that you'd like to see coming up on Riders Range, please drop us a line to info@ridersrange.com to see a playlist of everything that we've done so far and everything that we got in the pipeline coming up. Go to www.ridersrange.com. So again, this is just a quick look at a couple of solid, infinitely adjustable gun belts from CrossBreed, the Crossover Belts. Thank you for visiting Riders Range.